are you?
Hi. Pretty good.
Are you super busy, I bet, this time of year?
That would be a good description. Definitely.
Well, tell me, what all is your involvement with the River Festival?
Well, I'm the visual arts coordinator. So within the Smoky Hill River Festival, those areas are the responsibilities of the juried fine art show, the juried Four Rivers craft show, invitations to artists for the demonstrators area where we feature 8 artists making and exhibiting and selling. And then the art patron program, which is now in its 20th year.
Awesome.
Which is really unbelievable. And all the art installations that you see throughout the park. This year we'll have 22 installations, which is a record high. So,
wow.
Yeah, and those are wonderful projects and just have really become an identifier for this event in particular. I think kind of a hallmark, something very out of the ordinary for an event like this. Yeah.
How are they chosen? I mean, how is that selected? Do you have final say? Is there a committee, especially for the art installation throughout the park?
Yeah,
Installations, I should
we
say.
have kind of a multi-layered approach to the installation art because we're working within a set budget, utilizing a lot of, I call it a combination of budget and providing opportunities on a variety of levels. It's a type of project that an artist can approach maybe for the first time as a step toward larger public artwork in the future, but it is definitely larger scale work and is much different than working in the studio, say on a painting or maybe a smaller sculpture for a gallery show. This is taking your work out into the public outside, dealing with the elements and a lot of safety issues and a lot of other things that need to be addressed. So we have direct commissions and we have an open call each year for kind of like starter projects. And we usually select at least 3 from that mail out on the open call. And so we have that, and then we do reinstallations of some pieces each year, and then totally new installations. Some of the work, I directly go to an artist and talk with them because I've seen maybe their work and find it very interesting and challenge them or maybe get into conversation and dialogue about, have you ever thought of, and it starts kind of there and goes from there. So it really is a lot of fun, and they're great projects to work with artists on because you really take them from concept to reality and everything in between, dealing with all the variables. So yeah, I really love those projects, and they're so varied and bring such a different personality to our festival and such opportunity to artists to really have a new experience.
Do you get feedback from the community? I mean, how do you, I guess, gauge or measure like what's considered successful art installation? I mean, I think it's all beautiful. I mean, even as diverse as it's been over the years that I've been in Salina at the River Festival, but how do you guys determine what works, what doesn't work maybe for the festival?
Well, are you referencing installation art?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Well, it is somewhat of a balancing act in a lot of ways, but it's also, it relies a lot on curatorial experience, which in my years of working with the event and my background in art, I have some of that myself. And then I talk to artists, and then I meet artists, and then I'm introduced to other artists through artists, and it's a wonderful network. And so you have access to really discovering people who are out there you haven't met. You really get to see some really incredible work, and then you just begin a dialogue, and that's how it happens. So I think it's a matter of really being able to identify artists and to really get a sense of who they are and what they do and the quality of work they do. And that's a starting point.
That's awesome. Now, this may not be a fair question to ask, but have you had some favorite art installation pieces over the years?
I have. And for a lot of different reasons. Some of the projects have involved as many as 40 people in the community working with an artist. Some have been incredible visual pieces that are just you walk up on them and you experience them that way. Or some are interactive. So there are several I have that are wonderful favorites. One was a project that we do collaborative installation work with the Salina Art Center, and they select a contemporary artist and we work with them, and it was the year that John Salvest did the cast bronze twigs, and they were scattered throughout the park. They were all numbered, and they were beautiful little artworks, and so people were, by the end of festival, looking down a lot, trying to find them, but it wasn't anything that we were, really had to spell out. It was a hint in the guide, and then it caught on. And it turned out to be one of the most fascinating and fun interactive exchanges, I think, between community and artist. And so that was one very favorite. And one year we had a group here for an anniversary year called Bandaloop, and they were actually choreographed, and they did a dance choreography number in a shallow pond area, but also on top of Salinas water towers. It was featured in the New York Times Magazine.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
and
wow.
so that was pretty incredible. But there are so many on so many different levels that the way you appreciate them is pretty universal. But they're just, I think everyone can come to the event and walk around. I'm challenging people and encouraging people to turn it into a walking tour. And when you're at the festival or before the weekend's over, be sure you open the map up in the center of the program and look at where all the different letters are of the different ones, different installations, and reference the installation pages to find out who all the artists are. We have some incredible pieces this year. So
Really?
It'll be a lot of fun.
Tell me about the juried art show. How does that happen? I mean, I can't even begin to imagine the amount of work that goes into that. I mean, I know you mentioned, is it the juried art show? I apologize that I don't recall. You'd mentioned, is that where you send out some of the notice to the local, or not local, but to the artists to apply, or
yes,
do they apply?
There's an application process, you're right. And basically it happens in a timeline between the middle of September each year and the middle of February. This year our cutoff and application deadline was February 15th. The whole idea of a juried show is to create a panel of jurors to review applicants, and the applicants then submit images of their work, and that projected jury process then provides scores for the work based on what the jurors score it. So toward the end of February each year, usually around the last week, we have 4 jurors in for the fine art show, and a few days later we have 3 jurors in for the Four Rivers craft show, and we project 6 images of each artist on a big wall in a conference room, and then the jurors score the artists, and I take the scores then and put together the shows categorically from that scoring, and then it determines the artists and exhibitors who are accepted into the show immediately from that process. But we also have a very important second layer to the jurying, and that is the wait list. Artists have to, because of their professional circuit, so to speak, of doing shows at a certain time of year. There are several out there. Because everything's up in the air all the time with juried shows, you have to apply, you have to wait for notification, and you hope you get into the show. So that is part of the big equation, and things can shift and change. And artists do need to apply to maybe 3 shows on the same weekend to hope they end up with 1 or 2, or may have a choice. And then they look at their applications for maybe a 3-month period out or even longer, and create their kind of a route, so to speak, of shows that they will do that year for that season. So things can move around, and depending on shows that also fall on the same weekend as ours, artists are applying to that show as well, or those shows, and so you share that experience of shifting sometimes, especially when it comes to the wait list after the initial notification. But the jurying process allows for the highest quality in all media category, and same way through the wait list. So it creates such high quality, it guarantees what patrons and attendees are going to experience. And it is educational in the sense that if you're always striving for the highest quality of work in all these categories, that will play out very well in the experience people have, but also among artists themselves. They want to participate in shows where they know they are going to be among and amidst peers that have quality work as well. So it's two sides of a very complex process, but you think of the artists and you think of the patrons, and then you use the jurying process to bring the best to it.
How do you select the jurors?
The jurors have approaches a little different for each of the shows. The Fine Arts show, based on also where a bulk of the applications can come in categorically, you always want to cover some of those heavier categories with some expertise that someone might bring to the technique, be able to speak to it in that. I try to have a metalsmith for the jewelry category and metalwork. Then someone in two-dimensional work, like painting, printmaking, or drawing and pen and ink, something like that. Then a ceramist, and then a photographer. And typically, I have invited jurors who create on an ongoing basis their own body of work, so they're very much on creating and doing work. But also, sometimes some of the artists are involved in teaching, and it brings a real knowledge of technique and application in the different medium. And so it has worked very, very well to cover those four main categories. And a lot of artists have so many other experiences in other medium besides the one they concentrate on. Also finding a practicing artist and professional who sees a lot of art and is exposed to a lot of different types of shows and galleries and that sort of thing. In the Four Rivers Craft Show, I seek out professional craft artists, curators, individuals who own craft galleries and do commission craft artists, so that there's a real connection to that work and also to the commercial market. It's really important in that show especially that a person has a sense of what's being either imported or not created by hand by the artist. So that is part of our criteria in both shows. Original work created by the artist who comes to represent that work at the show. It is not production factory work.
Wow. I can't even imagine just all the work that goes into that. And, you know, does it ever surprise you when maybe people in the public maybe just don't really understand how involved? It's not like you guys just throw together a show and invite some artists.
Like in April, I might be pulling something.
Yeah, because, I mean, you guys prepare so much in advance for the festivals. And that's why I think it's so beautiful and so successful, is because, and it always looks amazing. And it just really, you know, I was sharing with Brad earlier, this would be my 9th festival, and there's staple signature things
Yes.
in the festival, but there's always it amazes me how there's always something different and new
Right.
and exciting, and for all kinds of variety.
Right.
Maybe am not, I would probably be more into maybe the fine art versus the craft, but how wonderful that you have
Right.
both, and within both areas, such a diversity within, I always try to walk around, and I always feel like I'm always missing something, because, access, we kind of cover the festival a lot, but still, it's just, I love it, and it's so breathtaking, just all the different aspects of art, and in all levels, and just taste and variety. It just blows my mind, because I know how tiny your office is, and I know you have great volunteers that help, but just how you guys put it together, and it looks so good year after year after year, and it's always fresh. I love that. I just wish I could tap into your guys' creativity a little bit. Holy cow, you guys just, I don't know how you do it. It's amazing.
I have been very fortunate over the years of working with the event, because I have had opportunities to really be part of the national network of show directors, and there are annual events to attend where you can engage in dialogue and presentations with not only directors but artists across the country, and have learned from all those wonderful opportunities what some of the best show practices are.
Mhm.
And so I think we've worked diligently to provide that, and to be able to present one of the most outstanding shows in the country. And we have fewer exhibitors than some of the larger metropolitan shows, but quality-wise, representative in the different, representing the different media, I would hold it up to any show. And the hospitality here in the community and the support means so much to the artists. The fact that we have such a successful art patron program here, and total sales that come out of this festival are incredible. Advertising that ahead to artists, along with wonderful jurors, cash awards, and our community festival collection purchase awards. It's, I think, something that artists share with other artists, and they know we're serious here about putting on the very best show we can, the best venue for them as professionals, and opportunities for them to have a wonderful experience while they're here. And boy, does the community really support it. I have excellent committees in the show areas and the demonstrators area. Just really engage with the art show and the craft show and the area they're working in, and they learn all about it, and really enjoy and look forward to doing it the next year. Some of the volunteers have probably been part of committees I've worked with for at least 15 to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you're definitely doing something right. I mean, for people to come back and to give their time, that's a wonderful, wonderful feeling, and it must be just so wonderful for you. I mean, I know the festival, it's very, very intense, and there's no rest involved, I'm sure. How any of you get any sleep amazes me, but it's just got to be such a great feeling to just, that you and your office and all the volunteers have put this beautiful festival together, and everyone has just a great time. That's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, the structure of actually administering it is pretty incredible. It's similar to a family tree structure that you'd see on paper, because our office is, not more than 7 people, and then there's this next tier of specific committees that are assigned on site to each of those areas that we administer individually. And then there's a larger group of volunteers then that are coordinated also with the help of that key and core group. So it just exponentially grows into 2,000 volunteers pretty quickly.
Wow, that is so wonderful. And again, it's the most labor-intensive thing Access does, but we just love it. It's just a really cool time. I mean, it's a great way to work.
Yeah.
If only work would always be
if
fun.
you can
like
work
always.
with the things that you enjoy and have a passion for, wow.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. And it's also something that, not everyone has that fortune to do. And that's why I've enjoyed it so much, is because, I'm an artist, I have an art background, working with artists is what I really enjoy, because that's just what I like doing. So it's been a wonderful, perfect fit.
Good. That is so wonderful. Well, I hate to have to wrap things up, but I could talk to you all afternoon. The ongoing
Yeah,
show.
I don't have anything to do, so let's do that.
But I just thank you so much for giving us your time and for sharing with us just a snippet. I know we just probably scratched the surface in all of your involvement with the festival, but so excited to see it and the different areas. And anything real quick you want to mention that maybe we didn't discuss?
Well, let's see, what would it be? Oh,
Because you're so involved. I mean, it's just so many areas.
Working with the festival T-shirt and the festival print, that's part of what I do.
How do you determine that?
Either of those? Again, I research artists out there and see who's out there. Kind of look from year to year at the different forms of expression, and then in the print especially, trying to provide information on different styles of printmaking. Printmaking is such a broad medium of expression. There's, used to be silk screen and etching, copper plate, photo-based and light-based processing now, digital work. There's so many forms out there, and kind of always concentrating on the differences between authentic original printmaking and what sometimes is referred to a print, which is really what they call an offset reproduction, a photograph of an artwork, not the actual artwork itself. So that's why from year to year we pick a different artist with a different style of printmaking, and it's provided a real interest in the sense of not only the technique, but also the expression. So everything from very minimal abstract to very tight and realistic. And so people that collect those from year to year, and they obtain those through donation of $100 or more to the festival, they have actually created a pretty nice collection of just the festival prints alone.
Yeah.
And we have them up here in the office, so when someone comes in, they can see all the prints. And the T-shirt, sort of a similar process, but just seeking artists out there who we think would provide a really interesting graphic and a change from year to year. Yeah. This year's is fun. It's part of our graphic this year, and kind of the takeoff and kind of a humorous Grant Wood interpretation. So it's fun.
I love it. I do. I'm always a fan, so
Well, and I encourage people to get involved in the Art Patron program. We pledge $250 in purchases in the Fine Arts Show. We have this fabulous morning breakfast, opening morning of the show in the Formal Garden across from the Fine Arts Show, and it's a reality because of 10 community sponsors. And so it's a great breakfast, kind of gourmet setting, and it's beautiful in the park setting. And then at 9 o'clock, it's time to shop, and it's a lot of fun. Little placards we have made up ahead of time where the purchasers can give those to artists when they purchase, and those are hung in the artist booth throughout the weekend, so it's a visible really accounting of the program itself. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That is very good. Well, Karla, thank you so much, and I've really enjoyed your sharing with your experiences and all that you do at the River Festival. Oh my goodness. I'm impressed. You're so, you don't appear tired at all, although I know, again.
Is this Monday? Maybe.
Yeah. What day is it? But I'm always so impressed with all the areas of the festival, and art isn't just visual, but it is just so beautiful, and all the different colors and the different type of art and the different forms, and it's just awesome.
It's great when that many things come together with
Yes.
the census, you know, and people and just the, I don't know, just the whole atmosphere of it is very different than any other event I've attended in the country, and it's very unique, and I think wonderful asset for Salina.
Oh,
And
definitely.
we certainly enjoy your part of that as well,
Oh,
because
thank you.
I mean, having your presence there throughout the weekend and being able to trip that on over to people's televisions, and it's fun. And a lot of the artists have commented on seeing things while they're, you know, here for that weekend, and I've gotten several comments on the access, and so thank you for being there as well.
Well, thank you. We enjoy it. It's so much fun. It is by far my favorite thing to do, hands down, always. It's just so cool. It's just got to be the coolest event ever.
It's a lot different than sitting in an office.
Oh, much. Yes, it is by far the most fun thing ever.
Right.
So, well, thank you so much, Karla. I appreciate it, and I will definitely see you in a few weeks.
For sure.
For what is it? 2 weeks away? 2 or 3?
I am not counting.
Yeah. Okay. Soon. How about that? Soon.
Soon is good.
Well, thank you so much, and
You're
thank you
welcome.
for watching.